Alrighty, folks. It's what are we? We're probably way ahead from where this video is starting, but I want to do a little bit of work on the 54. I want to just try to get it kind of finished so I can kind of run it around, see if I can do a few errands with it and stuff like that, and work any bugs out. I am waiting for a new sensor for our air fuel gauge, our air fuel ratio gauge. So I pulled, when Carl was here, I pulled the spring out of the, what do you call that thing now? The blow-off valve. So it can't build any boost. Let me get this open for you. There we go. So I pulled the spring out of here, so this thing can't build any boost, which is fine. So I don't trust it. I don't have a good, whatever you want to call it. Well, I have there, underneath there's a Y band, but I feel like there's almost a leak up here. I noticed that the other day when I was running. So I got to check that, make sure that's there, because if you're sucking in air here, that O2 or the wideband is not going to read that right. What the wideband does is just gives you a visual of how rich or lean the motor's running. And because we're doing boost, we want to make sure that it's, that thing's not very good. We want to make sure it's not running lean, because that usually equals a blowed up motor. So that is not something that we want. So and we got to go run through the wiring. And I noticed after we did everything that the wheel alignment is like crazy out. When it's there, they're like, they point out. So I guess, I don't know, maybe I was just a clip the way it was, and I don't know. And it feels uber stiff, the front. So that motor probably weighs nothing compared to what the original Jag motor weighs, but I won't worry about that right now. I'll just kind of try to get everything to work. I thought I had my signals all working, but I put bulbs in and yeah, something's not right yet. So, and then I didn't get into any of the wiring into the trunk. So I'm working on that as well. That's a little boring. I'll kind of bring you through, show you what happened, like what I did there once we get closer with that. But right now all it is I just got to switch these out. I'm going to put different sockets on it because I think I'm missing a socket that has the dual bulb. So I might just rewire the ends. The wiring feels and looks pretty good, so I'm not worrying myself too much about it. I think those are kind of the big things. We still got to do the emergency brake. We got to do a few things like that. But for now, I just want to be able to actually just take it on the road and just see if I can figure out any bugs, kind of thing. Probably will visit the e-brakes. We got to get that done anyways. Like, it needs to be done before we can get a full inspection on it and stuff. But anyways, let's get started. Well, on this front, I have been struggling. I think I spent a whole evening trying to get the wiring going. I thought maybe it was my flasher. I didn't have like a 3-prong flasher. Usually all that is it just screws up the dash blinkers. But anyways, we got that in. Still wasn't right. This wiring, because nothing's color coded, only two. There's a red and a green. But I think the red and the green are just like, they're not what you think they are. Like you say, if you look at these, you can't see any color difference other than the red, and then there's a green one right there. So it was a struggle. I can't even tell you folks what I did because, well, there's no real way of distinguishing what is what. Because, you know, there's a little bit of a red marking, there's some black marking in the white, but anyways, that was miserable. But we got it. It's working good now. All I got to do now is, I'll show you what I did in the back. In the back, what do we do here? In the back, we had the socket over here. Here, can I get you there? There you go. We got the one socket. It's fine. I don't have the backup lights one in yet. On this side, I didn't have a socket, so I just screwed in one like I did in the front. So in the front, what we did was, on one of my sockets, I just got these universal doodads for the bulbs, and I just screwed this plate into there, so it kind of just clinks into place. We screw everything together. Everything's good, except we don't have a lens for this one. So I gotta try to figure something out for that. This one's got what's left of its lens. It's pretty rough shape, but it's at least still complete. So that one's fine. I'm just gonna try to find something, even if it's just some clear something for now, just to cover up. We got the orange lenses, so, or the orange bulbs, so not a big deal for the front. And I gotta look at the wiring. I think in here something's wrong with the ground because the one headlight's working, the one's not. So I gotta look at that, and then I feel like digging around. We're gonna go see if I can find an emergency brake, because I'm gonna put like a pedal like out of an S10. It's kind of my plan there to do that. And I guess then we got to give it a front end alignment. One of the brakes, the calipers that I bought, isn't, we were having a trouble bleeding it, Carl and I, so I'm going to maybe have to take that off, maybe just pop it open or blow some air through it. Like, we know we have fluid all the way to the caliper, it just doesn't seem to want to bleed through the caliper, so I don't know. That's the one problem we got there. Other than that, I think we're doing all right. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep plugging away here. Oh yeah, we got a transmission leak I have to find too. That one's a little miserable. That thing's just yakking all over the ground there. Soaked up. That bugger, oh, it doesn't help that I'm spraying all over my sandpaper. Anyways, I realize I'm out of these pedals, so I gotta keep soaking this thing in the hopes I can get this thing loose, because I don't have any more of these suckers for emergency brake things. Anyways, I'm sure this will work. I'm digging around outside, I can't find nothing. Gonna have to start pulling. I got a few S10s yet, so I'll have to pull the brakes out of them. I'm gonna keep lubing this up and bang it around. Hopefully this thing will free up. And then all we gotta do is make a simple mount. We'll kind of bolt it to the firewall, and we'll make a simple bracket to hang off. And then from there, I just found some universal, I think this is for like an 8/8 or something, because the end has that weird little hook on there. Anyways, we'll kind of button this thing through. We'll attach it to there. This should fit down under the car. If not, I got longer cables. We're going to experiment with that one first. But first things first, we got to get that loose. Well, we're off to the back. I gotta look for something to make a light out of, or at least that's what I'm trying to do. Some reflector or something to fix the front. We got a few options back here. I'm not sure if anything's big enough. I'm looking at this. If we take both of these yellow markers, I know it would look odd, but we could put some yellow markers in the front. The other stuff has like too much curve. All of these other ones. And nothing old has a light like that in it. I have an S10. Not sure. I think they have something in the front. I don't know anything else back here. This is easy to get at, so let's have a look-see here. Maybe. Let's see. We are guesstimating. Oh, those are too small. Wah, wah, wah. I needed about 2.5 inches. That thing's got to be. I don't think there's anything else here with a lens that big. Well, let's go to that exploder and see what it's got. Survey says, oh, it's close, but it's all curvy. I don't think it's gonna work. Holy Dinah. Do we have mosquitoes? Golly. Yeah, I think I'm out of options. We're probably gonna have to just do some clear acrylic and maybe just spray some of that snow, you know, so it's not so clear stuff in there. Oh, more mosquitoes. Golly, it's either ticks or mosquitoes. That's our national animal, I think, of the summer so far. Mosquitoes are for sure. It's about their time to come out. We've been getting so much rain here for the past month or so. It's like every 2 days we get more and more rain. So, okay. Guess we can't do the marker light just now. I'll have to pick up some acrylic. Oh, maybe I have some in the shed. Let's take a little walk out there and find out. Well, this is not really what I wanted, but it'll do. What we'll do is we'll cut a few pieces out of this thing, and I guess I'll pick up some of that paint tomorrow. I guess like a paint for frosting a window. I don't know if it's like you do snow or like a shower door or something like that. You can get some paint, so it'll kind of dull it down. Maybe it'll be okay. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, we got the one lens that we can use as a template, and then we'll get her going. All right, we got this thing all loose. So this is good. Our pop back, whatever you want to call it, release, all working fine. Can't get it to do right now. The motions, there we go. Anyways, cool. I think this is like my last one, so I gotta go hunt some more of those up. I ended up cutting 2 lights. I have the original one, but like it looks garbage like this, so I'll wait till I get the frost on it. So tomorrow I'll be able to spray that on, get it in. It won't have this look, but at least they'll look the same. But the frost should just kind of white it out, if that makes sense. I think if I did the yellow, it would have looked off in the front. If I would have had yellow markers. Maybe the aftermarket is like that, I don't know, but these will work fine. This I think is just Lexan or something. We'll scuff it, spray some of that stuff on there, put it on the inside, and then at least it won't be transparent. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. You'll see when I get that done. I don't know how much more I feel like doing tonight. Didn't do a heck of a lot, I think, but I'm maybe I'll mount the pedal and get the hole in the floor. I think my idea, if you can see what I'm doing, is gonna be, see, this thing can go through the firewall, and then we'll just have to make a small tab mount up here. So I believe what I can do is I'll kind of hit it. I don't really like that, but we'll never have the e-brake on. And that. Just try to release everything here. Oh, problems here. Get this to there. If this goes there, yes, that won't be a problem at all. So maybe I'll... Man, that's just ugly. I guess you gotta take your wins however you can get them. I'd rather it be like beside me, but that's just goofiness. We're gonna have to mount it crooked. We're only using it in an emergency, so I know you folks, a lot of you folks in the States don't even bother, but hey, it's what we gotta do. We gotta do our inspection thing, so yeah. Man, that's cruddy. Oh well. We gotta do what we gotta do. Okay. I'm gonna mount that thing simple. I guess I just don't have. If I had a darn yank handle, I think that would make it a lot easier. I mean, normally it had the tug handle under the dash. I wonder if I have, like a 60s truck. That would be pretty good, no? They have that style. Even the Plymouth, the 4950 Plymouths. Let's see if I got, because if I can at least just do a tug handle under the dash, that might be better. Let's do some scavenging around the yard and see what we can find. I know I have one Plymouth. Chances are everything has been ripped out of it already. I have an old Ford. It could have. I don't know what style it has. It might be on, it wouldn't be on the floor. And all the 4950 cars, they all came through, but that's like in the way of my exhaust and the steering box. Actually, usually it's the back of the motor because they're straight sixes. They didn't have the V8s, so that was not an issue. Just trying to scan around the yard and see what I can find here. Anyways, I will meet you guys over yonder, and we'll see if I have anything in a vehicle. Kind of noticing a trend. I like this style. Where's it go? See there? Kind of does the old push-pull with the handle. We're missing a few bits. For some reason I thought they came under the dash. And then Ford here does the same darn thing. So we might go forward. We'll see how this truck does. Oh, does this one have it? Oh no, that one's like on the floor, on the drum. No bueno on this thing. It's a pretty cool little truck. Not really a fan of the style, but pretty neat. How's this one? The old Dodge, Plymouth, whatever this thing is. Well, you might have the bits I'm missing. Interesting. I think I'm coming back and scavenging this thing. That looks to be the one. It's got, it'd be nice if it had a loose cable. Then I wouldn't have to try to adapt something. Mint. That cable's loose and pulls. We just got to see what's where it goes. Way down yonder, eh? All right. I feel like that's a tomorrow problem, but we have a game plan. So, got to pick up some of that paint, and then what else did I say? Oh, paint. Grab the e-brake, get those working. Got to do a front end alignment. We got to look at that caliper, and then we're just about there. Just about. They'll actually take her for a burn down the road. That'd be good. Well, not everything worked out the way I wanted. I got this. It was not even doing what I remember it doing. Like, I thought it would get it all snowy, but it didn't do that. So I found a little bit of white paint. I quickly just dusted over top of these lenses. Like, it'll be okay for now. At least till I can find a set, it'll be good enough, and at least they kind of match. We pulled this e-brake out of that Dodge, so we got that going. I was just kind of loosening this up a wee bit. It's good. I just found a mystery brake cable somewhere, which is going to work fine. So now I'll be able to make a mount for that in the car. We're going to dangle this thing out. We'll make a mount, and then it has this nice end on there that we can make an adjustable doodad for my loop that I got with the cables in the car. So I usually just make some kind of a twang. I kind of tie the two cables together, and then I have a single adjustment point, and it kind of should tug the cables evenly. That's the plan. What else? What else? I think that's it. I think once this dries, I can put the lights back together. That's good. I'd like to do a rough front end alignment. I mean, ideally, would be putting it up on there to do the alignment, but well, I have some of these random like alignment plates, so I could probably do it on the ground. I just think it'd be nice to do on that lift because I could stand underneath it and do all my adjustments, but I don't know. Can't do it in the air. You know what, I might do it. I gotta blow that truck off anyways, so I might hang the bumpers and just give it a little push out the door. Yeah. There's a few things I got to do on there, but I don't know if it matters that I do it on here. I could do it on the lift. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I don't need it. I just need it temporarily. What I should do is get that darn thing running so I can drive it out, drive it in. That should be my focus, honestly. But anyways, this thing, well, we'll wait. We're going to put it together, and then we'll lift it up, get the e-brakes going. At least get that done. We can always do a really super rough wheel alignment and then maybe just bring it to an alignment shop and just get it done. That'd probably be the best, really. I mean, I think I have the means to do it. All right, let's wait for some paint to dry. Well, this is the outcome. It's not terrible. It's better than not having any. And, well, whatever. It'll work temporarily. I'm not too worried about it. It looks pretty good. It looks decent. Looks better than broken stuff. So you go there. They're sort of white, sort of like the original. The only difference is this one had the swirly bits in it, so that's what made it different, for a lack of term. But so, it'll be fine for now. I'm okay with that. Next thing we're rushing into here is looking at the emergency brake stuff. Guess we'll put this in the spare things pile. So the e-brake, I know a lot of folks don't use these in the States, but again, we need it. I was thinking of mounting it up here because it'd be sort of like in the original location, but it kind of makes for a goofy bracket. Doesn't matter how I go about it. It'd be easy to get at if a fella needed, but there's this kind of ugly hangout. The other one I thought is I'll just stoof it way up there. That kind of puts it out of the way. Try to go as high as I can go. Probably around there, and then we can kind of, I got to build an offset bracket, so at least it's here, but not in the way of my feet. That's the big one. So upstairs in here, I don't know if you can see in here. I don't even know if I can see. How's that? We're kind of weirdness. Well, it's offset. I think it should be pretty straightforward. All we got to do is build us a bracket that comes off and then hangs, and then we can weld the bracket and then we can bolt the handle on it. That way it's not sitting like rammed against this section, and we can still make what do you want to call it, like a kick panel when the time comes. So what I got to do is take this thing, I'm going to measure off. We're going to, oh, come on. Help me out here. There we go. Let's bring this over here. I need this anyways. I'm going to build a small bracket that's going to mount to the firewall. It's going to come out and then it's going to come back, or not the firewall, but that side panel. Where we're going to be mounting is actually right behind, ooh, what is it here? Here. It's going to be like mounted up into this vicinity inside the car, because that thing's pretty long or tall. Depends how you hold it or what you want to do. But okay, simple bracket. Let's get going here. Yeah. This became not so simple the more I look at it here. 2 out of 3. Well, I guess if this thing, I gotta ponder and think about this a little. The bracket's not quite as easy as I thought it was going to be. It's, oh no, it will, totally. I was looking at it backwards. There we go. See, it ends here. Whoops. Yeah, sorry. This camera's a little hard to get you folks to follow. It's going to end, it's going to start here, and we're going to come back, and it'll probably do an angle wedge. We'll probably do that, and then have it kind of go clink, and then we can weld it to the firewall. Yeah, we'll be looking at it. This is how you'll be looking at it. So this part's got to go here, it's going to come back, and then we need an offset. Instead of it mounting like this, we want it to mount like that. Yeah. Let's cut it up quick, and I'll show you what I mean. Well, it's worked out pretty close. I got like 2 of my 3 holes were like bang on. I always struggle with that. They're not bad. I did make them oversized because I'm not going to quite go where I wanted, but it looks like I am like, I don't know, not even 1/8 of an inch out like in any one direction, but I always struggle with that kind of stuff. So the idea was I always have to do it in a grid. I draw out. I don't know if there's better ways to do it. I was never formally taught how to do any of this stuff. Everything is a trial and error for me. So basically what I did is I kind of laid it here and just made a square off the corner of this table. So I kind of did this, as you kind of seen. I didn't do the angle, I kind of made up after the fact, but I go here and I draw back and then I try to figure out all my measurements off said square grid. For the most part, this actually worked pretty good. This is kind of how I tried to explain it to Ryder, is you draw a square and then you work within that square. And then when you go to your software on the table, I'm still using that eMachine Shop like I used on my old one. And it's basically all the same software on this table as I have used in the past. The table does come with its own CAD. I'm just pretty stuck in my head with using a very simple CAD software, so that's still why I use this old version of eMachine Shop. They have new versions of stuff out. Anyways, yeah, I just drew a grid and then I kind of mocked off. Technically, all these should have kind of gone in a wee bit or something, but I don't know. It's close enough for what I'm doing. And then I just cut a slat just so I could, I don't know if hopefully you can see this well, that I could bend, and then basically the idea is this bracket is going to get welded in. I'm going to weld some nuts on the back so I can take the handle off if I need to for some reason, but to get behind or do something, I want to be able to take it off. Anyways, we do that, and then we kind of go into our what's called sheet cam. So with this particular table, they actually have everything all set up for a feller. So you import your part, and then they have all the different selections in here for the thickness of steel that you're using. If it's a mild steel, it's all in here. All the settings are done. There's no goofing around trying to figure things out. I kind of just went with it's whatever it recommended, and then we kind of splash it over to this program, which is Mock. And again, it's pretty dumbed down, all set up nice and simple for a feller. So all we do is we load our code in, and we basically hit print, and ta-da, that's what we get. Much easier, much easier than my other setup. It's the same, but it's not the same. And the cuts, I didn't even have to clean anything off. So that's, you always used to see in my videos, I would sit with a grinder grinding everything off. Well, if you see the cuts this thing's giving me, this is the amount of, oh, I gotta get you, whoop, let's focus here. This is the amount of gunk I have on there, just like nothing. It's awesome. My old one always left like slaggy garbage, and then I always had to always grind everything clean. This one, I'm just using it straight off the table, so that's kind of cool. Anywho, let's, can you see how off my holes are? They're so minor. It's basically this one that's really off. Put it on my white. It's hard to get my camera in there. If you kind of go with a happy medium everywhere, it's going to be fine. Not a big deal. All right. Now let's mock that thing in there, and let's weld her in. Well, that works out perfect. Gas or brake. If for some weird reason a feller needs this, e-brake, not in the way of anything. Really? Well, whatever. It's pretty good. I got lots of leg room. Cool. One piece of the puzzle. All right. Gonna drill a hole right there. We're gonna kick this cable down, and then I guess we're gonna lift the car and figure out what we're doing underneath. Well, so what have I done here? Oh, let's grab a tie here. Let's cut some stuff. You can see the difference. There's this e-brake and it stops there, but this one just keeps going. I have absolutely no idea what that e-brake is, and I'm gonna have to do some research because I tend to seem to be, it seems to be the thing. I keep using these longer ones. The reason why I'm going that route is because I don't want to loop over the drive shaft hoop because the car is lowered a bit and it's probably going to hit the drive shaft over under. So I'm going to bring everything over to one side so I can kind of repurpose this mount, I guess. And then this cable, we're going to swing over the diff here probably. You know, like we'll probably do one of these and then point it beside there. At least that's my go-to plan here. We'll remove this. I did notice that I missed some weld here, so we're gonna weld that thing up. So I can repurpose this mount. We'll undo the bolt. We'll stick this e-brake into there. And then maybe off of here, I'll make a hanger for the second half. That way I can loop this cable around. This cable somewhere, I guess, on this body mount. Oh man, I won't need much. This is gonna work pretty good. I'm feeling off this mount, I'm gonna make a bracket for this thing to tie into. And then, well, essentially we can probably do a floaty T between these two. Maybe. We'll see, because it depends how this all works out. Whoa, sorry folks. I'm just trying to fling things to see where they sit. Yeah, a lot of work for something that I hope I never need to use, but whatever. It's kind of how she goes. Anyways, up front here, I pulled the power steering line off. I was thinking there was going to be a whole bunch of fluid to yak out of it, but it doesn't look like it. So it looks like the line's up here. I got to somehow just blow it out, and I'm going to try to TIG it. I'll probably do it on the car because it's just a miserable line to take off, and I just don't want. I remember arguing with it, although I was sitting underneath that other scissor lift, so it wasn't very enjoyable then. Now it's kind of easy to, it's actually pretty easy to get at everything, so it's not so terrible. But that would be that leak. This one, I realized I don't have a vacuum line, so that's probably why the thing was hanging up on gears here when I was driving the first time. But I don't know if there's a seal in there. I got to check that out. And that's the only thing I can think that's leaking, unless it's a pan gasket, because it's not the lines. And I just checked, it's like not the dipstick tube. So that leaves the oil pan or that little module valve. Like it is a Turbo 400, so I think that's like, I don't know if that's like on a Turbo 350. Like I don't know what that thing does. All I know is it softens the shifts. I don't know if that does the same thing on a Turbo 400 or not. Funny enough, I think I can fumble through and rebuild one of those, but I don't really know how everything works. Okay, let's start slinging the e-brake, and we're gonna make a couple quick brackets. Hopefully that thing happens really quick. Then I'll TIG up that front line, and then I kind of lubed up some stuff back here. So hopefully we can maybe give it a loose alignment now, just to putt around a little until I can get it into a shop. I checked this thing, like I put air through, it blows. I can get air like fluid to go. It's just, I don't know, something's not right with this wheel cylinder, I'm thinking, or sorry, this caliper. I took this off and I blew on it, and it did eventually some fluid, like it started to blow back. But it doesn't seem to want a gravity feed, which is not a bad thing. It's just usually a feller can. All right, well, it's enough of that. Let's get going. Well, the e-brakes are in. It's not an ideal setup. Like, well, I mean, it works. The thing I don't like is just my adjuster here. It's, I got to adjust each cable individually, and that's not an ideal thing, but I mean, I hope I never need it, so it's not really a big deal. We just need it for inspection, so it's like the typical thing. It's going to get used once, and then it'll probably never get checked again or used, but it works. And we can adjust each cable individually, so, well, you know, ooh, might have it a little, well, that was okay. I think it's fine. I think it just needs to roll a little bit. It's got it on a little bit on the tight side, so we kind of just looped around back. I think when everything's down, this thing should be fine. So we got that done. We did the power steering line. I had no real way to test it other than it's not leaking right now, so that tells me it's good, but we won't know until we get some pressure through there. This brake thing still hasn't gone, but I think I need to help get somebody to give me a hand and actually try to bleed this thing again. I think it's good. It just didn't take to a bleed, I think. So I'll wait to get a hand with that. I have to do my battery box. We got to tie that thing down. What else do we have to do? Oh, front end alignment. We got to do that. Do a quick little one. I did loosen it and just kind of spun it out a wee bit, but you can even see when it's in the air. Look at this tire is just like way out in yonder. And this one's, I mean, it's to be expected, I guess, but that's kind of excessive. Even floating in the air without staring at it, if you know what I mean. Look at that thing, eh? Thing just wants to go for a hike. Anyways, I'm going to loosen up the bits. I'm going to find some, as much as I'd want to do it on there, I think for now I'm just going to find a couple, like a magazine or something to set it down so the tires don't stick to the concrete. Bounce on the suspension a little bit, and we'll get out my aligning plates, which they're really nothing special. They're these just sit up against the wheel and you run a tape measure on both sides, and I've never actually used that thing yet, but we're about to try it out. All right, folks, this is what we've been waiting for. I was waiting for an air fuel gauge. That I've been waiting for before I could hook up my turbo. That's all I've been doing when I drive driving around was I actually pulled the spring out of the blow-up valve so it wouldn't build any pressure. Now we're good. We are good. So we'll go take her for a little test run and see how everything goes. Well, that end, it's finally stopped raining. Man, it's like been raining for days. Get that fixed up. So that part's nice. So we can actually go for a little drive in between rainstorms. That's what's happening here. What else do we have going on? So, all right, let's see what happens here. Oh yeah. issues, so, which is fine. I'd rather that now than any kind of a drive, real drive. It just seems to cut out, or there's something going on, so gotta deal with parts nowadays. That's pretty good. Now we're good again. It'll die. Just gonna try to get you folks some drone stuff, but yeah, my car just keeps cutting out here. And there it goes again. So you can idle, but you can't do anything else other than that. So we're slowly limping our way home. Well, unfortunately, it didn't quite go the way I wanted. I was hoping to get a little bit of drone stuff and whatever, but yeah, you know, that's how things go. I have like a Bosch 44 pump in there, which kind of what they recommend for the lower boost stuff, but I don't know why. I just gave up the ghost. It seems to be the going trend. A lot of the parts I have to buy in doubles, I think, because if they're a wear part, they just seem to go bad. But it does go, Trooper's really good. I don't know, it still needs a lot of tuning, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. This thing's like awesome. I didn't lose that. It did fall off on the road, so I have it in the back seat. So I still got all the hubcaps. That's a big win. But for now, I think the car is pretty much done. I don't think we're gonna see too much of it. If we do, it'll just be little blitz in the background. I have everything, I don't have everything done the way I want. Like, we still got to tune it. I totally eventually want to revisit it and do the interior. Yeah, but I want to buy a kit, just get all the interior done. I want this thing to be like open the door and it's like a new car inside. That's kind of my hopes. And then the outside just has this look. I know a lot of people don't like that. I enjoy the crap out of that. Like, that one's gonna be blast, and I'm gonna just get my head out of it and we'll just drive it. And as it gets buggered up, that's what happens when you drive stuff. Anyways, I think that's where we're gonna leave this video. I wanna thank you all for watching me fart around the shop and do my thing. So many thanks to all of you out there. And as always, I wanna thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.